Hi guys, today I'm going to be trying on some SUQQU Holiday. There was quite a few pieces in this collection and I only picked up 3 different items. And that's why I've got just a little bit of eyeshadow on today, but I haven't put anything through here. And you'll see why in a minute, because I didn't pick up one of the SUQQU quads. They both look really beautiful, but I do have a lot of SUQQU quads now. But instead I picked up one of their single eyeshadows. I also picked up one of their pure colour blushes. I just love SUQQU blushes. Now these blushes aren't the melting powder formula. Those are just stunning. These are their original formula and they have that gradient in them and they are really beautiful as well. So I picked up one of those and I also picked up a lipstick as well. And I hadn't tried it's their moisture rich formula and I hadn't tried one of those. I'd only tried their matte lipsticks. So I just wanted to give their moisture rich lipsticks a go and see what they were like. So I've already got my base makeup on. I have foundation on and I've powdered over that. I also have eyeshadow primer and I also have a little bit of eyeshadow on as well. The foundation that I'm using is the SUQQU one that was released earlier this year. This is a really beautiful foundation. This is in the shade 030, but everything that I'm putting on my face today I will have linked in the description box below. So the items that I picked up, I got them from Selfridges, but this collection is also available from Liberty London and Harrods and Cult Beauty as well. So I'll have all of those places listed and linked in the description box below. So the eyeshadow that I've got on already, I just wanted to have it fairly basic. So I got the Natasha Denona Glam palette and I've used 3 shades out of this palette, and the 3 shades I've used are Crease, Blend and then Smoke. And I've put the 2 shades Blend and Smoke just below on my lower lash line as well. In the SUQQU Holiday collection, they released 2 eyeshadow quads. There were also 2 blushes as well. They're the pure colour blushes. There are 2 single eyeshadows, one that I did pick up. There was also 2 lipsticks in the Moisture Rich formula, and there was also another lipstick that they released for the first time, and it's in a matte balm formula. Now I didn't pick that up, but I've heard some really good things about it, and I wish that I had picked it up now. And also in the collection is a lavender powder, which I didn't pick up, but I've seen videos showing that as well, and that is really beautiful. It's very finely milled and just gives a really beautiful brightening effect to your makeup, and it just looks really, really stunning. So now I'm wishing that I had picked that up as well. So I'm going to have a look around the different websites, because I wouldn't mind trying to get my hands on that matte balm lipstick that SUQQU have just put out, and I also wouldn't mind trying that lavender powder as well. So this gorgeous SUQQU Holiday collection, it's inspired by winter roses blooming in freezing cold weather, vividly appearing in the winter scenery, is bringing the warmth within the cold season. So let's take a look at the single eyeshadow that I picked up. This is number 111. And when you first look at it, it does look this beautiful cool silver, but it also looks like they may have just a tiny bit of green in there as well. And these single eyeshadows, I've bought 2 previously, they have this really gorgeous reflect. All of these products are made in Japan. This has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening, and it has 1.5 grams of product. So I'm going to swatch it first on the back of my hand. I'm just going to use my finger. I'm just going to do 1 swipe. So that is what it looks like with just 1 swipe. And then I will go over again, and that is what it's like with 2 swipes. And then I think next to it I'll do another swatch, and I'm going to wet a brush and just see if you can get any more payoff. But I think the payoff on this is really beautiful, and it is more opaque, maybe perhaps than the 2 that I've previously bought last year. I just think this is a really, really beautiful wintry cool colour. So I'm just going to take the Sonia G. This is the Builder 3 brush, and I'm just going to give it just a little bit of a spray So this is swatched using my finger, and this is the shade when I wet the brush. When you wet the brush, you get quite a bit more of a sheen to it, but it looks really nice just with the finger swatch as well. So I think either or would look really lovely. And I'm going to put some on with a dry brush and see how that applies, and then I'll probably just go over it using my finger. So I'm going to grab my SUQQU Holiday brush. This is number F06, and we'll see what this is like. So this brush is dry, it's not wet, and I think that goes on really well. It has a really pretty reflect to it, and I'm just going to put some just up through here. So now that I've got it on my eye, it is a silver shade, but I can definitely see there is a little bit of green in there, and it looks like there's just a slight, very slight bit of gold as well. It's a really pretty shadow. So now on the other eye, I'm just going to use my finger to put the shade on and just see how this applies. And you do perhaps get a little bit more payoff using my finger, but I think it went on really well just using the dry brush. So I've just taken a little bit more on my finger. I'm just going to go over it again just to get even more payoff. It is a really lovely shade. So I think that the shadow goes on beautifully whether you use a brush and just tap it on or using your finger. This one has definitely got more payoff now, but that's because I've gone over it twice. So with this eye, I'll just go over it again, and again, I'll just use my finger just to even them up. But these go on really easily. I'm going to take the BK Beauty. This is the 204. Just going to stay with this little single shade, and I'm going to run a little bit on my lower lash line. And then I'm just going to go back into Natasha Denona palette, and I'm going to go into the shade that's called Lash Line, just a very small amount. This is the Sonia G, the Pencil One brush. I just want to deepen it up just a tiny amount on the very outer corner. So I'll just put a little bit in there, and I'll just blend that out slightly as well. And then using that same shade, I'm just going to use that just to line my upper lash line. So now let's take a look at the blush, but before I do, I'm just going to have to shut the window to the right of me here. We're supposed to be going to have a storm this afternoon and possibly some thunderstorms, and they did warn us about there's going to be some high winds, and I can just start to hear it now. So I'm just going to shut the window, otherwise you'll be able to hear it in the background. So now we'll take a look at the blush. This is number 136. Again, this is limited edition. It has a shelf life of 12 months from date of opening, and this is made in Japan, and there is 7.5 grams of product in here, and it's just in the usual pure color blush packaging. The SUQQU packaging is really lovely. It's very minimalist and sleek. I think it's just very chic, really gorgeous. There is a generous size mirror inside, and it does come with a little brush. I'll just take that out and I'll hold this up so you can take a look. And this is a delicate rosy tone, and it has that gradient in it. So essentially you're getting almost 3 different shades, and the lightest one sort of acts as a highlighter. I tend to use these blushes. I just swirl my brush through all of the different shades and put the blush on like that. So what I'll do is I'll swatch this on my arm, and I'll swatch this end and then in the middle, and then the highlight shade as well, so you can see what they look like. So this swatches really beautifully, and the highlight at the end, it has a gold in it, and it is really, really lovely. SUQQU described this blush, it says it's a rosy pink that accentuates your complexion with a white gold glittering pearls for an elegant impression like a winter rose shining against a snowy landscape. I think the colour of this is just really, really beautiful. So first of all, I'm going to put some on using one of my SUQQU Holiday brushes. This brush is fairly soft and I use it for a lot of my blushes. And this is number F03. So I'm just going to swipe it all through the colours. I think by swirling all the colours together like I just did is really beautiful, and you can just lightly see that gold through there. It's not too much, it's just really pretty, and it actually goes really well with this single eyeshadow. It sort of all just goes together and it's really, really beautiful. And for me, if I was just going to go out for the day, using this brush would definitely be enough. So I'm just going to grab another brush just to see if we can build it up a bit more. So I'll get the Sonia G, it's the classic cheek one, and I'll just swipe through here. This one will probably pick up more pigment. And you can see that it does build up. So just like I've got on this cheek here, this is the one how I would normally wear it. So I'm just building up just to show you that it can be built up. But it is a really, really beautiful shade. I think that looks really, really pretty, really gorgeous. I love it. And you could, if you want to, just stick to this side and put a little bit of blush on or build it up to how you want to. And then just use this as you normally would any highlighter. But I think mixed all together, it's really beautiful. It doesn't look chunky or anything like that. It's just gorgeous. What a beautiful shade. Really beautiful. And it just blends beautifully too. SUQQU products are just so beautiful. So now we'll take a look at the lipstick, and this is the Moisture Rich lipstick, and this is number 124, and this is what the packaging looks like. Really lovely. And at the end here it just has the shiny gold, and the other one that I was talking about, the matte lip balm that came out, the end of that one is a more brushed matte looking top. This lipstick is made in Japan, just like the other products, and it has 3.7 grams of product. Now they describe this one as a beige coral. So I'll hold up the bullet so you can take a look. As I said at the beginning of the video, I haven't tried the formula of these lipsticks. I've only tried their matte ones, but I've heard great things about this. So I just think this is going to be really, really gorgeous. I think this is a beautiful colour. So I'll just wind down the bullet a little bit. I haven't had any issues with SUQQU lipsticks breaking, but I'm always careful. There is one swatch on the back of my hand, and next to it, I'll just go over it a few times, and it does build up. So you can see how it builds up. So you can get quite a sheer wash, or you can build it up if you want to. These feel, when I've swatched them, really beautiful. They remind me a little bit like the Chantecaille, the Lip Cheeks, that type of formula. So let's put this on. So the lipstick is really beautiful. It felt beautiful going on, and it feels really beautiful on the lips too. They describe it as a balm-like texture to keep your lips hydrated, and I can imagine that's what it does. I think it looks really lovely. The whole look together is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm not surprised. Every time I get SUQQU, sometimes I look at pictures when it's first promoted, think, oh, I'm not too sure, although I do love their blushes. But I'm really pleased this time. I just picked up one of their single eyeshadows. I think it is gorgeous. The colour is beautiful. It looks very soft on the eye. There's nothing harsh about it. You still get a beautiful sparkle and a beautiful reflect, but it is soft as well, and I think it goes just lovely with the brown eyeshadows that I put on from the Natasha Denona palette. Of course, you can use any other shadows that you want. You could even wear this just by itself, would look really pretty as well. And the blush is gorgeous, and I love it with that gold in there. It's just really pretty. I love SUQQU blushes. They are just beautiful. The melting powder formula is outstanding. The pure color formula of the one that I use today is really beautiful too, and just blends like a dream. It's lovely that the blush can be built up. There's a lot of people that like to build up their blush, so you can have like a sheer wash of color or build it up to how you want it, and I think it's really lovely. And I'm really pleased that I've tried these moisture rich lipsticks. They feel very beautiful on, and they have just a really lovely gloss to them. They're not over the top, but they make your lips look really healthy. I think that this shade is really beautiful and goes really lovely with the eyeshadow and the blush. Everything just ties in, and I'm glad that I picked up these 3 products. I think they are really gorgeous. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Bye.